I'm Jenna. If you haven't joined us before, I'm the social media manager here for the police department. But the first part of my career I spent as a dispatcher. So that's why we started the 411 on 911 series, is to talk a little bit more about our communication center, about our dispatchers, and about what happens when you call 911. And this morning we have Dana here with us. She's one of our dispatchers. And how long have you been with the department?
Almost 24 years.
24 years. So a lot of experience, a lot of 911 calls, right? Mm-hmm. And that's what we're going to be talking about here today, is when you call 911, it's a life and death emergency. It is a very crucial time for you, and sometimes that can be, most of the times that can be very, very stressful. And what we want to talk about today is some ways that when you call in, you can help us to better help you, because our whole goal is to get you the help you need as quick as possible, right?
Right.
So sometimes you being so excited in that moment can make it more difficult for us to get the vital information that we need to get to the officers to help you. So we're going to talk about kind of some of those obstacles for dispatchers that we struggle with. So talk a little bit about that. What are some of the obstacles that you have to overcome as a dispatcher when a citizen calls in on 911?
Let's see, we can start with maybe speakerphones.
Okay.
So speakerphones, there's an echo to it.
Okay.
Sometimes they break in and they break out, cut in and cut out, so it cuts off part of your conversation, which obviously is very important because we need to hear what you have to tell us. It will delay sometimes so that you're not hearing everything at the moment that you're saying it. We do understand that while driving, you sometimes don't have a choice, and that's what you have to use. But if you do have a choice, we would prefer not a speakerphone. Just a normal landline works best, and that way we can hear you crystal clearly, get the call entered as quick as possible, and get on your way.
Okay, so if you don't have to call on speakerphone, don't do that. So what are some other examples of obstacles that dispatchers have to overcome when callers call in on 911?
If they're going to ask for a phone number, make sure that they have a pen and paper, something to write with.
So people sometimes call 911 for phone numbers.
Unfortunately, that happens often, every day, every hour. We prefer that you do not call 911 for a phone number and use 411, look it up, Google, whatever you can use to locate another phone number. But if you are calling 911 and we're doing our best to assist you and help you, we may refer you to other resources, phone numbers, what have you. So at least have a pen and paper around just in case of that situation.
That's a good idea. So don't call 911 for phone numbers.
Right. And
just anytime you call 911, be prepared with a pen and maybe some paper in case we have to give you some additional information. Yep. Okay. Okay. Do you have any more examples of some of those obstacles for dispatchers?
I do. I have some examples. When you are calling 911, you're obviously quite upset. Something major is going on in your life, and you're sometimes going to scream. We understand that, but when you scream, it does distort your voice a little bit, so it makes it difficult to understand you. It would be, we will do everything we can to calm you down so that we can understand you better. Obviously, once we can understand you, we can enter the call quicker and get help to you faster. So that's very important. Just try to remain calm. If you're calling 911 to cancel your call, don't do that. Try to use the non-emergency number, which by the way is 264-5471. If you use that to cancel your call, it's much better than calling 911, because again, you'd be using up that 911 dispatcher. If there's no need to call back on 911, if you have something like you just want to find out how long is it going to take for the officers to get there, I would only call back 911 if you already called us, if there is something new to tell us about your current situation. Perhaps maybe someone now has a weapon, or someone is now injured, whatever that case may be. This may sound funny, but try not to eat on the phone when you're talking to us, because again, it's hard to understand what you're saying. Be brief as possible. We understand that you have something to say and you have a story to tell us, but the quicker we get that story from you, the quicker we can help you and get officers out to you. If you're having another conversation going on, we do get this often, we can't tell who you're talking to, if you're talking to us or the other person, so try to focus just on our conversation and the questions that we're answering you, again, so we can get officers out to you quicker. And if a big one is, if no one is answering our non-emergency phone, so you've done the right thing, you've called the non-emergency number because you're not having an emergency, but no one's answering it, which is happening a lot lately due to our staffing shortages. and you call 911 to tell us we're not answering the non-emergency phone, trust me, we know it. We have our big screens in front of us that tell us how many calls we have in the queue. We don't like having you guys have to hold. That's one of our, we just hate that. We want to get to you as quick as possible and help you as quick as possible. So please, I know it's going to take a while for us to answer the phone, but please just hold on to that on your non-emergency line. Don't call us on 911. And the last one, if we can leave on a funny note, is a lot of people do call us if they don't have enough pepperoni on the pizza, or they got avocado on their Subway sandwich number 4, what have you, and they didn't want avocado. Obviously, that's not something for 911. 911, again, is used just for life and death emergencies only.
Okay, so those are some great tips to help us better help you when you call 911 to make sure that we get you the help that you need. And thank you for joining us here today. And next week, we're going to be talking a little bit about staffing shortages, right? The call center's a little bit short-staffed right now.
Just a little bit.
So we're going to be talking about that and the fact that we're hiring. So thanks for joining us.